Hey, right, this is from Christina. Christina said, well, out of topic, I don't know if you're going to read it, but I'll try. I'm reading it. What's your opinion on yoga and recovery? In your podcast, you spoke about it. Do you still practice yoga? Yes, but it's under sufferance. It's for my neck mostly. I get a really tight neck. I can't honestly say that I enjoy yoga anymore. Probably because it's a bit boring. Oh, it's the worst thing. I'm not supposed to say that. I'm supposed to say, no, that's the most interesting thing that you can do is be still and quiet with your own body. Sorry. I think that yoga is good for many things. I think it'd be good for mindset. I think that yoga gave me, not so much yoga, but more the mindfulness side of things, gave me so many skills for understanding my fucked up, crazy brain. And basically yoga helped me understand how to rewire my fucked up, crazy brain, or at least it helped me sort of studying yoga, studying mindfulness gave me the words I needed to be able to explain and be able to start explaining to other people how to unfuck fucked up neural pathways. And so I owe not so much yoga again, but mindfulness, meditation, all of that stuff, mostly the theory behind it all. I owe all of that a lot. I do still do yoga, but mostly it's because my hamstrings get super tight and so does my neck. And I always feel really good and relaxed after doing yoga. I guess it is really good because my brain does go quite fast sometimes, not about anything other than thinking about horses, getting excited about what I'm doing with all of that. And I think that the good thing about yoga is that it's quite difficult, especially balancing. I find balancing poses quite hard and have to focus a lot to do them. And that really does help me slow down my mind. And so I do it, but I do have to make myself do it. I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, yay, I'm going to yoga. I'm kind of like, do I have to? And then I always feel better afterwards. And I try and go twice a week, but let's be honest, that rarely happens. And this is just a recent thing, by the way, as in recent, like 3 weeks ago, where we took up my membership to a yoga studio. In my defense, COVID, couldn't go, could I? But to be fair, I also had not been to a yoga class for about 2 years before COVID. So I got back into the yoga studio about 3 weeks ago, masks on, and hated every minute of it because I hadn't done yoga for ages, so it was super hard. And that was the first time in about 3 years, maybe even 4 years, who knows. So I do talk about yoga and recovery. Like I said, it's more the skills of mindfulness though, and all of that stuff. Like doing power yoga is not going to help you recover from your eating disorder. All it's going to do is kick off your compulsive movement. And so I do think if you have any compulsive movement, then yoga is only going to feed that. And so don't pick it up and be like, oh no, I'm allowed to do yoga because that's good for recovery. It's not good for recovery if you have a compulsive movement problem. But the meditation and mindfulness part can be, and that is what your compulsive movement will hate the idea of, because you'll just be like, what, sitting still? Fuck off. So all the more reason to do it. The other thing, though, that I will add to that is I have known people use a mindfulness practice, of all fucking things, as an excuse to push back eating. So, for example, oh, my morning routine is I get up and I brush my teeth and I have a shower and I do this and I do that and then I sit down for an hour and 30 minutes and I stare at the wall. And I'm not allowed to have breakfast until I've done that for an hour and 30 minutes. No, that's just you using something as an excuse to push back eating. It doesn't matter if it's an hour and a half or not, even if it's 20 minutes. You know what? Eat your breakfast and then stare at the wall for 20 minutes if that's what you really want to do. But do not use mindfulness practices as an excuse to not get on and eat. And also don't use it as an excuse to try and distract yourself from your mental hunger. That said, if you can actually use it in the most positive way, then of course it can be helpful, because anything that helps you be able to see your thoughts, detect your thought patterns, helps you then be able to reject those thought patterns. And I talk about that a lot in Rehabilitate, Rewire, Recover. Detect, reject, redirect thought patterns. That's what we have to do all the time with neural rewiring. We're detecting that our brain wants us to do a certain thing, whether it's a thought, a behavior, emotional reaction, and then we're saying, we're not doing that anymore, brain, and we're actually going to do something else instead. So I think that the meditation and mindfulness, boring as hell as that is really helpful in recovery. Have I done any of that recently? Fuck no. I really hate it. I did use meditation and mindfulness a lot in my recovery. It really served me in that I needed to, because my brain was super fucked up. I think that I now have sort of like, I still take those skills with me of being able to, a lot of the time, see how my thoughts are going, my emotional reactions and things like that. But if the question is, do I meditate? The answer is absolutely not. I can't think of anything that I want to do less in the world than meditate. I find it so fucking boring. And I've never yet been able to talk to somebody who meditates who's been able to explain me how it's not boring. I'm sure that some people can do it, but to me, that's just like mental self-torture. If I'm going to take an hour for myself, I'm not going to sit there and stare at nothing. What I'm going to do is I'm probably going to watch some crap television on Netflix. So I hope that answers the yoga question.